It's been about 11 years since the last Donkey Kong game released, and that being Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on the Wii U back in 2014. And that doesn't count the re-release on Switch or the remaster of Donkey Kong Country Returns, also on Switch. And it's been about 26 years since the last 3D Donkey Kong game was released, and that was Donkey Kong 64 on the N64. That was released back in 1999. That was It's like a month after I was born. So yeah, we've been due for a while in the Donkey Kong realm. We've had a lot of hits, we've had some stinkers, but it looks like a good old return to form for this crazy monkey. So Nintendo released a Donkey Kong Direct. It was about 16-17 minutes in length. I was kind of hesitating whether I wanted to watch it because I feel like I've already seen enough. I've already seen the treehouse footage. Even some of that I was like, okay, I gotta stop watching. I already know I'm gonna play this game. It looks incredible. It looks so fun. But I just couldn't help myself. So I watched the Direct, and I'm gonna try and give a recap on everything and some of my thoughts on it. So here we go. First off, if you saw that weird little rock thing in the original trailer, it turns out that it's actually Pauline. That was kind of weird. It was kind of leaked already that Pauline was gonna be in the game and that she's probably gonna play a substantial role in the game. So it's not a huge surprise that this rock character turns out to be somewhat related, but the fact that they're the same character is kind of interesting and surprising. At some point, she breaks out of this rock carcass and is your companion in the game. She's like in little kid form, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun dynamics between her and DK. Each of the worlds that they kind of show off in the Direct look pretty interesting. We didn't see too many new environments from what we've already seen from trailers and treehouse footage. We do see some more of like this kind of lava area. We see this beach area, which I don't remember seeing before, but they seem to have a lot going on in them, so that looks really fun. They show off pretty much almost every move that you can think of. You can roll, you can jump, you can climb, pretty much anything. You can pick up what they call chunks out of the ground or out of the walls or out of enemies themselves. It looks crazy. You can break anything, you can punch stuff, you can punch up, clap your hands to collect money. My favorite move that they showed off is you can do a chunk jump, take a big chunk out of the ground, and then you can jump up in the air with it and use it as like kind of like an extra platform or a double jump to get some more height, and that looks super cool. I'm just hoping that there's a hidden move in the game somewhere called the chunk dump. I won't describe what I think that should look like. Everything is just so destructible and it looks awesome. Like you're going to be going into walls, you're going to be going into the ground looking for treasure, looking for the big, what are they called? Banandium gems, collecting all kinds of different pieces of gold, fossils, coins, things like that. It's gonna be crazy. There's so much going on during the gameplay that you're just gonna, it looks very addictive. It looks very just, you can just lose kind of, I don't want to say mind numbing, but like you can just kind of mash the buttons and just kind of lose yourself for a bit, which is the kind of game that I really enjoy. They showed off 3 transformations. There's the Kong Bananza, which seems to just make you like really strong. You can kind of go on a rampage with that. They've got Zebra Bananza, which makes you run really fast and charge into stuff. It kind of reminds me, the way that he runs, it's like a goofy little 2-legged zebra run. It's hilarious. I don't know why he's running on 2 legs when he can run on all 4s, but it kind of reminds me of Marty from Madagascar, and just the way that he kind of looks when he's standing on 2 legs and he's kind of like using his hooves as hands, you know. There's something about animals with hooves and like when they just kind of wave them around, like use them as a person would use their hands. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but just the way that DK runs around as a zebra just kind of gets to me. I'm I'm gonna be doing that a lot for sure when I get my hands on the game. There's also Ostrich Bonanza. You can glide and drop egg bombs and just kind of fly around, and that looks pretty cool as well. I also like the way that the guy narrating the Direct says pretty much everything. He's like, Ostrich Bonanza! Or something like that, you know, like he's very enthusiastic. You gotta give him points for that. I like what they do with the collectibles. You're gonna be using gold to build up your Bananergy. That's what they're calling it. It's just pretty much your energy to use for these Bananza transformations. You can also buy stuff with the gold. You can buy useful items, they said. So we'll see what those turn out to be. Looked like maybe extra lives or something. You gotta notice that they don't miss an opportunity to use that wordplay, like Bananergy. Like they always do those play on words. They never miss a chance to do that. That's pretty funny. So we gotta look at the 3 villains that we'll probably be seeing the most of. Grumpy Kong, the name says it all. Poppy Kong looks kind of like a spy looking kind of lady. She looks like she'll be very sly and cunning. And then there's Void Kong, who he seems to be the big boss of everything. From the story, I guess he runs this company that's trying to race DK to the core of whatever planet they're on, and they're gonna collect something that's valuable down there. I don't know. So the main flow of the game is you're gonna be collecting what they call Banandium gems. These kind of are pretty much like the moons from Odyssey, and you're going to be finding them pretty much everywhere, inside walls, in the ground. You're going to be going through challenge stages, also kind of like how Odyssey had, challenge moons. You're going to be doing challenge stages, which I really like. I like those extra challenges that are a little harder to do, that, you go into a special area to do, that kind of wouldn't really make sense to have otherwise out in the world that you're exploring. So that's pretty cool. I really like that game flow where you just explore and find stuff as you go, and you can pretty much just kind of wander wherever you want, and then when you have enough stuff, you can progress to the next world. You can kind of take it at your own pace, and it's very like pick up and play for just a few minutes if you want, or hours if you just get lost in it. One thing I really appreciate that you can do with these collectibles, like the Banandium gems, is you can use them as skill points. You can upgrade yourself, like your health. If there's like some kind of stamina meter, I'm sure you can upgrade that. Like how long you can use your transformations, I'm sure that's all going to be different aspects of what you can upgrade and improve. I really like that. I love that they're adding progression to a game like this, because Odyssey, it was just fun to explore and move around and find stuff and unlock like new costumes or new kingdoms or things like that. It seems like this game has all of that, but just more, like a lot more, and I am really digging that, because the gameplay is going to be fun on its own, and then you're going to have just tons more stuff to build towards and to progress in. And I love how they're kind of fleshing out that progression system a bit more in this game. So you can spend what they're calling Bananium chips at like the stores, kind of like how you spent like purple coins in Odyssey, and then you can spend your gold on, helpful items, quote unquote. But you also find fossils that you can spend on clothing, and I really like that they're bringing that back. DK doesn't really wear shirts. I'm sure they'll have like shirts that he can wear, but like clothes that you can put on DK to like customize him and stuff. You can also change his color, which is cool. It's cool that you can do it, and I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun to unlock those and change them out as you want. And Pauline as well, like it looks like there's a lot of fun costumes to try out. And they also give you different perks, like different abilities, or I guess boosts to your skills. I'm sure it's not going to be anything too crazy like, oh, this one's going to let you do a triple jump or something. It'll probably just be, hey, you can run 1.5 times as fast with these pants on than you can with these, or like they showed DK swimming a little faster. I'm sure it'll just be small perks, but that will still go a long way. It'll still give you an incentive to try out different costumes, which is nice. So all of that combined, the skills, the costumes, all the collectibles make this game seem like it's going to be a blast to complete. There aren't a ton of games that keep me around for dozens of hours, but this game looks like it's going to be one of those that I'm going to be spending, like 100 hours in, trying to collect all the costumes, collect each Banandium gem in each world, and just check everything off the list where you can complete each world, and it'll be really satisfying. A couple other things I wanted to touch on was the multiplayer. I don't really care about this. I don't know who's going to be spending a ton of time with the multiplayer. It seems about as in-depth as Mario Odyssey was, where one player controls Cappy. Whoever controls DK is going to be having all the fun. If you have maybe like a little sibling or something that doesn't quite have as much skill in the game yet, at least it's nice to have something that somebody else can enjoy the game with. It's nice that it's there. It's a nice thought, but it's not really like if it wasn't there, I don't think anybody would really miss it. Also, we have DK Artist. This is its own game mode. I wonder how in-depth this mode is going to be, because it doesn't look like there's a ton of options, at least from this first initial look. But just the thought of things that you can do with a sculpting artist simulator really kind of, I don't know, it seems like there's a lot that you could do with this. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but this is kind of surprising, and they didn't really show anything about this up until now. And honestly, I think it looks really cool. It's not the type of thing that I would spend a long time in. I'd probably just jump in for a few minutes, make a Mamma mia! And then leave. I'm sure we're gonna see all kinds of diabolical creations that people make with this, and I'm really excited to see what those are. A really cool mode that nobody really asked for or was expecting. I'm excited to see what people do with it and all the stuff that you can do. That's a nice touch. Finally, I also wanted to talk real quick about voice acting. For Nintendo games, voice acting doesn't really amount to a ton, but it seems like voice acting is going to play a bigger part in this game. It was a lot more cinematic than I thought it was going to be, and that's kind of cool. Pauline looks like she's going to be more voice acted. I'm sure it's going to be like kind of like she'll say little quips here and there. It's not going to be like full voice lines like she's saying like full on paragraphs or anything, but she's going to be singing, she's going to be talking throughout the game, it looks like. So that'd be kind of cool. It'd add a little more life to the characters versus just the constant like grunts and you know, like how they usually do. Hopefully it's not like annoying or anything. I kind of think, you know, stuff like that has the potential to be annoying. Right now, I'm into it. I like it. There's also some amiibo stuff, and I might have missed a few things here and there. But that was the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct. Comes out in a month, pretty much. I'm definitely going to be looking to pick this game up when it comes out. Thanks for watching. Bye.